Hey, what's up, fam? This is Michael Stevens. It's been a little bit since my last video, and most of this is because there's a lot's going on, and sometimes I just can't articulate what's going on. It just takes some time for the dust to settle. But there's just been a lot of amazing things that have been happening lately. I've definitely seen a lot of people show up that I didn't expect to show up when it just comes to life, and you think that this is the time that businesses are suffering, and people are out of work and looking for answers. But I realize too that in the midst of all this, families they're much closer to each other, and like we're not worried about getting here or there like we usually. We're not scrambling to meet deadlines and get to work on time and get to school on time, and like people are like less stressed. Like it's a trip. Like, yeah, it sucks being a homeschool parent. Like I don't know these damn freaking equations and whatever, but I've noticed that our life overall is way less stressed than before, because we're not just trying to get everywhere and just not running around, and it's like we're able to just kind of sit and breathe, and so I think that's really interesting that that's what's coming up, and I think there's blessings in everything if you have the eyes to see. If you have the ears to hear, you'll definitely see some beautiful things right in front of your face. And they're usually just hidden right in front of your face anyways. That's what makes life so interesting. The treasures are just like, our treasures are laying right in front of us in the garbage can that we in yesterday's garbage. But what would our life be like if we just eliminated two words, yesterday and tomorrow? Like just that concept, like there's a past, there's a future, these are ideas, but if you eliminated the word yesterday and tomorrow, what would that, how would that affect our life? What effect would that have in the way that we perceive reality, the way that we perceive dealing with trauma, issues, mediation between people? If there was no word for yesterday, it's like we would just have this moment right now. Words are powerful, man. They create a reality. They create boundaries that may not even be there. Like one of the most difficult things for Native Americans when they were trying to be Christianized was that a lot of these tribes, their language, they didn't have a word for sin. They didn't have a word for it, and so they couldn't understand, like, what do you mean by sin? Like doing something against. There's some system set up that I do something against this system, and I need to pay for it, but someone else paid for it for me. An Aboriginal man was doing an interview, and he was saying that in his language, they don't have a word for thank you. And it was interesting because he was just like, thank you, thank you is only like, the reason why you say thank you is like, as if someone like owes you something, like, oh, thank you so much, like, for doing this, that you didn't have to do it. Like, when someone needs water, you give them water. When someone needs clothing, you give them clothing. When someone needs fish, you give them fish. And it's like, it's like breathing. You take a breath. Like, why do I need to thank the air? Thank you, air. Like, no, like, this is what we're supposed to do. And you think about that, like, just a word like thank you, or a word like sin, a word like yesterday. Like, words are powerful. And so I challenge you, live an hour without that concept. What would change about your life? How would you address the issues currently in your life right now? Comment below, and I want to know like what your thoughts are. Like when you start to think about that, like if you just took away those words out of your vocabulary, how would that change your life? Because it definitely would have to. And I'm curious to hear how it would. So Have a powerful day. Thank you, and talk to you soon.